Imagine a ghost story, but one that's real. An entire town, over 115 men, women, and children vanishes from the face of the earth. No bodies, no struggle, just an eerie, empty settlement and a single, cryptic word carved into a post, CROATOAN. This isn't the plot of a horror movie. It is one of America's oldest and most haunting true mysteries, the Lost Colony of Roanoke. Let's travel back to the late 1500s. England, under Queen Elizabeth I, is buzzing with ambition. The dream? To build a mighty empire across the Atlantic. The Queen gives her blessing to a charismatic explorer, Sir Walter Raleigh, to establish the very first permanent English colony in the New World. Raleigh, a man of grand visions, chose a small, windswept island off the coast of what is now North Carolina, Roanoke Island. In 1587, a ship carrying more than 115 colonists cuts through the waves, leaving England behind. On board are farmers, craftsmen, and entire families, all chasing the promise of a new life. Their leader is a man named John White, an artist and cartographer tasked with governing this fledgling community. They were pioneers, full of hope, but they were also sailing straight into the unknown, a land that was beautiful but unforgiving. From the moment they landed, Roanoke was a struggle. The soil wasn't as fertile as they'd hoped, the weather was brutal, and their relationship with the local Native American tribes, once promising, began to sour. Food supplies dwindled, and desperation set in. With the colony on the brink of starvation, John White made a difficult decision. He would sail back to England for more supplies. He left behind his daughter, Eleanor Dare, and his newborn granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child ever born in the Americas. He promised them, and everyone else, that he would be back within a few months. It was a promise he couldn't keep. When White reached England, he found his country in crisis. King Philip II of Spain had sent his invincible armada to attack England. Every available ship, every sailor, was conscripted for the war effort. White's mission to resupply a tiny, distant colony was pushed aside. He was trapped, watching helplessly as months turned into years. For 3 long, agonizing years, the colonists of Roanoke were completely cut off, left to fend for themselves in a strange and challenging land. What happened to them during that time? We can only imagine their fear, their resilience, and their fading hope. Finally, in August of 1590, John White managed to secure passage back to Roanoke. As his ship approached the island, his heart must have been pounding. He expected to see smoke from chimneys, hear the sounds of a bustling village, and most of all, to be reunited with his family. But as he stepped ashore, he was met with a deafening, chilling silence. The settlement was gone. The houses had been carefully dismantled, not violently destroyed. All the heavy equipment, like cannons, was gone. Personal belongings were scattered about, as if left in a hurry, but there were no signs of a battle. No bones, no blood, no graves. It was as if the entire colony had been systematically erased. Then, he saw it. Carved deep into a wooden palisade post was a single word, in all capital letters, CROATOAN. Searching further, White found another clue. On a nearby tree, the letters CRO were carved, as if someone started to write the word again but was interrupted. What did it mean? Before he left, White had instructed the colonists that if they had to move, they should carve their destination into a tree. If they were in danger, they were to add a Maltese cross. There was no cross. This suggested they hadn't been attacked, they had left willingly. But to where, and why? CROATOAN was the name of a nearby island, what we call Hatteras Island today, and the name of a friendly native tribe that lived there. Did the colonists, facing starvation, simply pack up and go live with their neighbors? This is the most popular and logical theory. It makes sense. They were desperate, and the CROATOAN people were known to be more welcoming than some other tribes. Over the centuries, this theory has gained some traction. Archaeologists on Hatteras Island have found European artifacts from that era: bits of pottery, a sword hilt, or writing slate mixed in with Native American remains. Could these be the last remnants of the lost colonists, assimilated into a new culture? But if they just moved, why didn't they wait for white? And why did they dismantle their entire settlement? This leads us to other theories. Some historians believe the colonists might have split up. Perhaps a small group went to CROATOAN, while the main body attempted the treacherous journey inland, following rivers deep into the forests of North Carolina. Decades later, subsequent English explorers reported hearing stories from inland tribes about people with light hair and eyes who lived among them, people who could read from a book. But these were just stories, whispers on the wind. Of course, there are darker possibilities. What if the lack of a distress signal was a trick? The Spanish had a presence to the south in Florida and saw the English colony as a threat. Could a Spanish raiding party have wiped them out and covered up the evidence? Or perhaps their relationship with another, less friendly tribe, like the one led by Chief Powhatan, turned deadly. John Smith, of the later Jamestown colony, was told by Powhatan that he had personally wiped out the Roanoke settlers. But was he boasting or telling the truth? We have no physical proof. And then we enter the realm of folklore and the supernatural. The story of Roanoke has inspired countless ghost stories. Some legends speak of a curse on the land, or of a vengeful Native American shaman. Others whisper of a strange, pale creature haunting the woods, or of a mysterious disease that drove the colonists mad. While these tales make for great campfire stories, they don't solve the historical puzzle. The mystery only deepens. Even the clue CROATOAN is more complex than it seems. The letters crow found on the other tree are particularly strange. Was the carver interrupted? Or were they trying to signal something else entirely? The silence from the colonists themselves is the most maddening part. Why did none of them, not one of the 115, ever re-emerge to tell their tale? If they assimilated, why did their English language, culture, and written records vanish so completely? Today, the search continues. Modern science has brought new tools to the investigation. The Lost Colony DNA Project is actively trying to trace genetic markers from the Roanoke colonists among the descendants of local tribes. If they can find a definitive genetic link, it would be the strongest evidence yet that the colonists survived by joining a native community. Archaeologists are also using ground-penetrating radar and other advanced technologies to search for buried settlements, not just on Roanoke Island, but far inland. Following the paths the colonists might have taken, they found tantalizing clues: a patch of European pottery here, a piece of a flintlock there, but no smoking gun. No welcome to Roanoke, population 115 sign. The fate of the Lost Colony of Roanoke is a void in the pages of American history. It's a story about hope, hardship, and the terrifying power of the unknown. Over 115 souls, including the first English child born in the New World, walked into the wilderness of a new continent and simply faded away, leaving behind only questions and that one haunting word, CROATOAN. Their story reminds us that even in our modern world, some mysteries are so deep, they may never be solved. What do you think happened to them? Let me know your best theory down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the past. See you next time.